Luke Filipiak, right?
Yes,
That's how you say
yes,
it?
sir.
Filipiak. Otherwise known as Frost from the LTN stream.
All of it.
On Twitch, as well as Frostbite 4.
Correct.
I was going to say IV.
Roman numerals. Yep,
That's
both of them.
definitely uncouth. Frost, you've kind of been, I don't know if it was initially the intention, but you kind of became the de facto leader of putting the whole LTNcon together. Yeah. Like, how was the process? Like, how did you feel it went?
Well, it definitely wasn't intended, which isn't a problem, but we had a team in place, and then, I mean, when you're working with volunteers, like, life happens and gets in the way, so if you're not 100% into LTN, like, you know, full time, like, you've got to pay the bills, you know? So, anyways, it was kind of thrust upon me to just kind of, like, take over for a little bit with the intention of, like, passing it back, but...
Which, I mean, didn't come to pass.
But it all worked out, and this is something that I was going to take over eventually, and so it was kind of just that trial by fire, like, hey, you're in it, and figure it out. And so, but thankfully, we've got a great team. You were on that team that just kind of help answer questions and promote stuff on the radio and all of that. But
I didn't really do much compared to everybody else who
you did
put together forums and sought out people. And
well, that's why, I mean, like I was saying, we had a great team. With our fellowship dinner last night, we had several people get what we call the nerdies. They won a nerdy just for going over and above helping plan LTNcon.
So workhorse.
I definitely learned a lot, and so far we've completed day 0, and day 1 like officially started 15 minutes ago with registration. Right. So we have a packed house already.
I mean, up to this point, I feel like everything's pretty much gone off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Which is a big boon for the fact that this is the first time you've put something together like this or led the team like this. So, I mean, I'm already blown away, and I'm looking forward to how everything else pans out.
There's definitely some things that didn't go the way I pictured it in my head.
Like what?
But that's not a fail. Just the way like the schedule went last night with the whole like I had just a vision in my head for how like the fellowship dinner would go, but it's just like, oh, we did the nerdies like 30 minutes later than I expected, and we didn't have like
there was a lot more.
Like,
there was a lot more talking, and
the food wasn't in the place that I was thinking it was going to be in. And people didn't sit where I thought they would sit.
And we also had a lot more food than we needed.
That's not a problem. And it's like, it's definitely a learning process for me because I'm a control freak. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to sit here.
That's interesting that you say that, though. Like, because I think from anybody outside of your own mind.
Sure, yeah.
Everything went off exactly like it was supposed to.
Sure, yeah. No, that's what I was kind of getting to. It's like, from an attendee point of view, everyone's like, oh, this is perfect. This is great. And I'm just like, great. I'm glad you think that.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend here. I think that, I mean, it feels like we've already done so much.
Yeah.
And we haven't even really gotten started. It doesn't even really start.
Day 1 just started, yeah. And the first like actual LTNcon event is our first Eat to Win.
Yep, the Sunday School Answers.
With Sunday School Answers.
I'm excited about that.
If that goes off successfully, it's setting the bar for the rest.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a pressure moment there, because if it goes poorly, we're like, well, maybe there's only nowhere to go but up from this point. We'll see. Luke, what drew you to want to get involved with LTN at all in the first place?
I mean, most of you guys know me as like the streamer and for LTN, which is great because that's kind of where I started. I started streaming. I wanted to be like a positive influence. I wanted to create a safe place for people to come like hang out on stream. Yeah. Because I saw a need to where, I want to go tune in and watch someone play Halo, but like Halo can get very competitive. People could get salty and rude and vulgar. And I didn't like watching that. And so I'm like, I'm going to be the guy that doesn't do that. But I'm also a Christian, so I'm also going to, share my faith and all of that. Because I don't think anyone else is doing that. So I started doing that. And then very quickly, I discovered other people doing that.
Yeah, that's quite.
And and so I started building relationships, networking, and then I met peeps from LTN and got plugged in there. This was towards the beginning of COVID, and so Matt was actually flying up here, or Bubba was flying up here to meet with Matt and a few friends here in the area to do like a Gen Con online stream at the time, like on YouTube. So I met Matt and Bubba like first thing, like in person, and I shared my story. They shared what LTN was all about, and by the end of the night, I'm like, I can't do this alone. But we're on the same page, so like, just tell me what to do. Tell me how I can help you. And so that grew into streaming once a week for LTN, and then becoming more and more involved there, to then taking over the stream full time, and then starting to take stuff off Bubba's plate with our events, and so it's just snowballing.
Joining staff. Yeah. It's very similar. I mean, very different, but similar in feel to how I joined in. It's like I got connected to them kind of randomly, and like, you know what? I want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. It's that moment where it's like, once you realize, like, I don't need to do this by myself. I can lend a hand and like help out LTN, but LTN can also like help me out, like give me a place to do that.
Right.
Where if I were on my own, doing it on my own, you have a shorter reach or whatever. Not to grow myself or my own brand or anything, but like I could do the same thing just under the LTN umbrella, and I'm gonna be a help and help reach more people. So
absolutely. All right, man. Well, before I let you go, I'm going to make you play a game.
Uh-oh.
So on the Back Row Morning Show, we play a lot of these kind of podcast games. So I'm going to make you play Would You Rather.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to give you a Would You Rather scenario here. And your goal is to choose the one you think most people have chosen.
Okay.
We're going to do best 2 out of 3. Let's see if you can get 2 out of 3.
Okay.
All right?
I like this better than choosing it myself.
Yeah.
I'm picking the one that's the most popular.
Even if it's a nefarious one that you would have chosen but don't want to give that off, you can say, most people would probably say this, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, first one. Would you rather lose all the money you've earned this year or lose all the memories you've gained this year? This is a sad one.
Oh. I feel like this one's easy. I'm going to say money.
You rather lose all the money?
Most people said money.
70%. All right, so you got one.
Like, when you throw memories in, that's so sad. Also, I didn't make a lot of money this year, so that was an easy one for me, personally.
Also, I'm broke, so I'm already broke. What do you want from me? All right,
lovethynerd.com/Luke. If you want to help me out.
Partner it up. Would you rather fall on a cactus or fall into a rose bush?
I would say majority, and this would be my answer too. I would say rosebush, because I feel like the cactus, like those like needles, like stick in you.
Those are like
stick. The rosebush
just scratch you
it
up.
would be gnarly, but you wouldn't have to like pull needles out of.
That's a good.
Skin.
I mean, that's good.
Am I wrong?
It's good. Let's find out.
I say
you
rosebush.
are not wrong. 78%.
Let's
said
go.
Rosebush. All right. So you already won, but let's do the last one just in case.
I'm curious what the last one is. These ones aren't bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
The ones that where you got to like eat stuff, and maybe this is going to be one where you got to eat something nasty.
I almost brought. I have a bag of Tailgate candy corn, which has a couple fine flavors like fruit punch, popcorn, but then it has hot dog and hamburger candy corn. Okay. Yeah. I almost brought that to make people try it, but. I'm not that guy. The whole Bean Boozle thing, what that people do on stream, I'm like, nope. If you want to see that content, go somewhere else. I very nearly vomited the last time I tried the Bean Boozled stuff. All right, would you rather live a comfortable and peaceful life in the woods in a small cabin, or live a life full of conflict, but in a mansion in a city? So it's like you're choosing 2 different things here. Live in the woods in a small cabin. So by yourself, just essentially. Like in solitude. In solitude, but comfortable and peaceful. Yeah. Or live in a mansion in a big city, but your life is full of conflict. If you're asking my dad, he would for sure say the cabin in the woods. So I would say a majority of people. All right, who are we polling here? Are we polling like nerds? It's I have no idea. It does break it down to like gender and age, but
this one is a tough one.
Yeah.
I think I would say I would say me personally, I would say the second one, like the mansion, because I already deal with conflict. That's just life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a majority of people said the cabin.
The cabin? You're correct. 64%. Okay. 3 for 3.
Sweet.
Mr. Luke, thank you so much for joining me. And
thanks for having me.
I hope everything continues to go off without a hitch, man.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure we'll talk again at some point.
All right. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, I'm here with CEO, Chief
Executive?
I was trying to come up with something clever. I should have thought of that before we pressed start. No.
Where's the fun in that? Heck,
the title used to be
Chief Executive
Nerd, and you decided that wasn't fancy enough.
Well, so here's the deal,
You like
man.
things fancy. We know that.
I got to the point where I was like, if somebody ever leaves our organization and they have to explain to somebody, which Chris did, and he had to explain to somebody he was the Chief Executive Nerd, they're like, oh, yeah. No, this is like our business is for adults, though.
Right.
Yeah. And so...
So we're here. This is Bubba Stallcup.
Hey guys,
if you haven't heard this, Bubba's the first, and you have largely been hands off. At least had largely been hands off with this.
Oh yeah,
until about the last month or so.
Yeah,
and I was talking with Luke earlier about how it wasn't really his intention to join the team here and then become the head of it. But
it was nobody's intention.
But it just kind of became that.
It was absolutely nobody's intention.
How do you think Luke did leading in this thing?
Guys, I've been trying to put it into words. Like things bounce around in your head and you think about things, and it's easier to talk to yourself than it is to talk to other people. I think that he has just done a great job, like a smashing job. I can't. If you're watching the video here, you can see behind us. And the angle doesn't really even do it justice. But the exhibit hall, I have been to other conventions that are adequate in size, maybe a little bit larger, a little bit smaller. Yeah. And the vendor hall just feels empty.
Right.
Like it feels, it's almost like people are avoiding going over there.
Right.
Right.
It feels warm here.
Here's like, oh, I have to. Like it's there's a gravitational pull.
It's very inviting.
And that has a lot to do with the vendors that we brought.
Yeah.
And honestly, we didn't talk a whole lot about, hey, what your booth would look like, what it could look like, stuff like that. And then you got guys like Todd Turner that comes in here and just plasters his area with the most gorgeous mosaics I've ever seen in my entire life.
Beautiful stuff.
I'm talking to him over there. Yeah. I know you asked me about
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm talking to him over there, and he was like, yeah, I know I don't have any skill or experience. And I'm like, who are you talking to right now? I can see the things that you've made, right? He's like, oh yeah, I don't have experience doing that. And I was like, I think that you do have experience.
This whole wall is experience.
I was looking at his Joker.
Yeah.
The last laugh, right?
Ridiculous.
And I'm like, the I don't even know what it's called, the different shimmering glass that he used on the highlights of the arms and stuff. And I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. I think you're doing pretty great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just one booth.
Right. That's just the one.
And then, everybody else has just smashed it.
Yeah.
It feels like you want to stop and talk to people. Mm-hmm. You want to stop and learn about the game or look at the mugs or find all of the prompts in the I don't know what that thing is called over there, the little house.
Oh, Meeples, Mini Meeples.
Mini Meeples,
studio?
Yeah,
she brought up.
Yeah, Miniature Meeple Studio. That booth is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I love that because we did a lot of things that were locally sourced.
Yeah.
And the reason that means anything is because if we hadn't cared about that, if Luke hadn't made sure that we had people that were competent, that could have, that's the first impression.
Right.
Right? You walk in, you see that. It could have tanked it. And so having somebody who cares about stuff like that is super important for me.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I've been very hands off. When Chris was still around, he's still alive.
Before Chris passed him.
Yeah, we call it BC before Chris. But when he was still here and a part of it, that was one thing that he and I deliberately talked about was we want to make sure that he and I were not lording over LTNcon.
Right.
Didn't mean that we weren't a part of it, that we weren't speaking into it and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, this wasn't going to be our show. And we were trying to do that, and you know this because your staff.
Right.
We're trying to create an atmosphere here at LTN where you're empowered to do the stuff that you're uniquely qualified to do.
Yeah.
I will speak into it on certain occasions. Sometimes maybe even put a foot down or two, but it's like my job is not to step in and go, you're doing it wrong, do it my way.
Right. And I think that's so rare these days, to the point where us, the new crew, me, Tieranie, and Luke, we're like, you sure we're not supposed to come with you?
Constantly asking a lot of questions. Yeah, absolutely.
What part of I trust you do you not understand?
I think it's that part. I think that's the part.
Why? I should not be.
And that comes from like a really deep place from me because I've been at so many places with, I don't want to say poor leadership. Some places absolutely poor leadership. Other places that just don't really know how to work with people.
Yeah.
You know, which you could say is poor leadership, but that's not what I'm saying. Like,
right.
They're great people. They're good leaders in some way, shape, or form, but they're not empowering leaders. And so I just want to treat people the way that I want to be treated. And I knew that I wanted to have say and, you know, a power in some way, shape, or form in the area that I've been entrusted with.
Yeah.
But the trust was the big deal. And so, I mean, I trust Luke. There are some things that he just doesn't know about convention life that I do or that Matt does. And so we speak into that.
Yeah.
And those are the foot down moments kind of a deal. It's like, hey, yeah, but we need that done though. Oh, well, I'm not sure. No, but we do need it done though. Like, yeah. And so I think that he has done an absolutely fantastic job.
Yeah, it's
We've
phenomenal.
already started talking. He picked me up from the airport, and we were immediately talking about next year. And he's like, I'm sorry, I know that you want to, you know, get some, maybe we'll just wait. And like, let's just get it out of your system. We'll talk about it, and then we can think about it.
It's hard not to when you get excited and thinking about ideas. That's kind of how our last few meetings have been. It's been like, all right, we've come up with a whole lot of new ideas that we can't do this year.
Oh, yeah.
But let's remember them for next year. Bubba, what are you most excited about going into, like we're just starting, like officially we're just starting.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about for this weekend?
This is going to sound really weird. John Brady asked me this last night.
Yeah.
He's my bunk buddy. Because he asked same exact question. What are you most excited about? I think that's just, it's an easy boilerplate question to ask. And I'm not, saying it, but it's like.
Thanks, I'm phoning it in, yes.
I tried to think very hard about the answer to that question. And my gut reaction, what am I the most excited about? I'm most excited for it to be over. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just all the things that I know come after LTNcon.
Yeah.
All the things that I know are built on the back of LTNcon. The people that we have in space and in our relationships are Todd. All the people that we have in space and relationships, not all of them, but a bulk of them are from LTNcon.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to see something on the internet, in community and Discord and Twitch and hear it on the radio
pieces here and there.
Yeah, I mean it's conceptual.
Right.
I'm always talking about the difference between concept and actualization, and this is actualization. You get to see all these people. Well, some of them, right? This is a very small microcosm of who we have in our community, but you get to see an active portion of that. And the activity...
Like Todd's mosaics. Beautiful pieces of glass anywhere else. Here you get to see them come together.
Dude, I was telling... Oh, yeah. He was telling me about that, and I was like, I hate how good that is. I was telling him, your stuff online is this big. It's just it's a tiny square.
It's so much different.
Yeah, it fits on my phone.
So
and then you see it here.
Using that as the allegory for what you're saying is absolutely right. Because we see... I mean, it's not necessarily the goal of it, but we see a boon in volunteers and people who want to, like, okay, I want to really get involved now. Like, I've been, terrestrially involved. I've been in the Facebook group or whatever. Yeah. I would like to get more involved because they see how just connected this.
Dude, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was like, so-and-so, right? My newest Facebook friend, because I was going through and trying to familiarize myself with as many people as I could that were going to be here.
Right.
And I was like, I don't think this person is it their first time in our community? Oh, no. They go back a long time in the community, but lurking.
Right.
And but an active lurk, right? Exclamation point lurk. Like they're there. It's a thing. They just aren't really doing anything. Right. And they told me, they were like, hey, I'm not a very outgoing person. And things like this kind of give me a little bit of anxiety and stuff like that. But she's like, I could not be here. And then they were here. And it's like, that's crazy. That's super crazy. Like my mind is still wrapping itself around these concepts that we create in staff meetings and over the course of years of friends getting together and talking. And then it's like, no, there are like people here now. Like we're doing a thing. And even with like where LTN is going, which is trending upwards like a rocket ship, it's terrifying. When it works,
it's that part of the roller coaster where you know what's coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so when it works, I'm just blown away. And so I see it work here, and I hear the stories about people that are in it. So when you ask me, what are you most excited about? I'm most excited about it being over. Like I'm pumped about everything that's going to happen while we're here.
Yeah.
I'm the most excited about all the things that come afterwards. And we've got things that we're going to be announcing here that have to do with things that are coming afterwards. And
can't wait.
How people can get involved, things you don't even know about.
I know.
How people can be involved, and that is the next step. If we bring people here to LTNcon and we don't activate them, we can do that online. If I'm being real, like you can play games with people some other time. You don't have to come here and pay us and do that. I want the same level of intentionality that I have with merch that I was just talking with Jacob Cecil about. I don't want people to throw shirts away, paint in them, use them as rags to wipe things off of walls and stuff.
Right.
If your house is on fire, I want you to grab your LTN merch and your wedding photos and stuff. It's the same thing. It's like if I'm expecting you to pay me for something, and my organization for something, I want you to walk away with something inherently valuable.
Right.
And that's what this is to me. When your life is on fire, I want you to grab LTN on your way out. And so I don't know how to do that is different in a lot of ways, and I think all of that comes after LTNcon.
Yeah, I agree. Seeing the results is going to be a fun ride for sure. Last question before I make you play a game. Just up to this point, just so far, we've had like the fellowship dinner event last night, and we're just kicking off like the registration and open gaming here on the first day.
Yeah.
But just so far, with the way things have felt and looked, and the response we've kind of had, compare how this one's going compared to this point at your very first one in 2019. The only other in-person one that you got to have.
Oh, yeah.
Far. Like,
how would you like me to compare those?
How's it different? Like, is this one more exciting? Was the first one more exciting?
Oh, wow. What a good question.
Because that first one is like, we're happening. This is real. This is happening.
Yes.
We're doing something. But it was also comparatively, a smaller kind of event. You didn't have exhibition.
Nope. No exhibitor halls.
Exhibit
yeah.
halls. And we grew a lot online through the 2 years of streaming only.
Yes, we did.
When it comes to community. And so in that 3-year span, are you more excited, I guess, about this one, having seen the results of the last 2 years, or were you more excited about the first one?
What an interesting question. I'm going to try and be concise with my answer.
Okay.
Because it spans the course of 4 years.
Yeah.
The answer does. To put it in context, when we did our first LTNcon,
which I wasn't even a part of. I wasn't here.
No, you were still back row radio at that time. And I think you and I had just
we just teased the idea. We did the joint free play back row podcast
in
thing.
May.
It was in 2018.
Oh, year before.
So it was a year before.
Okay.
Because that was before the radio station.
Oh.
So it was about a year later I had started back row radio.
Okay.
And y'all were doing this.
That's right. We did podcast. So, you go back and you look at all that and you look at the time frame, because time frame is important.
Yeah.
So 2019, October of 2019, that weekend was the first weekend that I was full-time at LTN.
Oh, okay.
And that was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
And like, I had no idea what it was going to be like, what to expect with what I was. I was in charge, you know. It's like I didn't, you know, I wasn't CEO back then, but like I was in charge of what I did, and it's the beauty of like founding things and starting them. It's also the terror of doing that. Nobody tells you what to do, but we got to build that from the ground up, and we didn't have a team. It was us. It was just us that did it, and we got to deal with all of the joys of getting all the food together and making sure that the hotel rooms were open at the right time, which they weren't. And we had legitimately at that point just a bunch of strangers come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Because we were still super fresh and new. We were actually only up and running for about a year at that point. And so it was terrifying, but exhilarating, you know? I'm not a highly anxious person. I just don't. I'm always the one, I was just telling somebody earlier, I'm the one that's always telling my wife, Anna, I'm like, hey, here's what the Bible says about worrying, to just stop it. It's that easy, right? And so, but I found myself being highly anxious and nervous at that. Fast forward 3 years, 2 LTNcons later, and this is our first LTNcon with me as CEO. And so it's another first.
Yeah.
And so I find myself kind of in a similar anxious position, but in an organization that is light years from where it was. And that's largely to do with, you know, how Chris guided us and helped us to get to where we are today. And so I ride on the coattails in the back of that. To concisely answer your question, I just measure it in the amount of stress poops. Okay? And so last in-person LTNcon, 2019, too many to count. Like just an impossible amount.
Endless hot snakes.
Yeah, I'm not a very big person. An impossible amount. I have limited capacity, right? This one, 0.
Really?
0. I had one anxious moment. This is my therapy session. I had one anxious moment, and that was 2 nights ago. And I couldn't sleep. And it was just like, I wasn't worried that something was going to fall apart or explode or anything like that. My main worry was, how is it going to be received? Are we going to be able to hit the mark? And then the more highly anxious moment came immediately after that. What if it works? That, to me, is the most terrifying thing. What if people like it? Because then you got to do it again.
And slightly
better.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and then the trick with that, pro tip, is not to overthink, not to over polish for next year, not to jump the shark. You know, everybody knows hey, the first movie did really well, let's do it super. The next one, everybody's like, I hate sequels. They're so stupid. Like, you guys try too hard. And then they kind of try and figure it out for the third and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. Because this is just as much like a rebirth or a regenesis as anything.
Yeah.
But I have a team. Luke, you, Tieranie, Matt, Kate, and those are just the staffers, you know. And then all of the other people that are helping things work behind the scenes. I get to step in and speak into it, help guide, and then not worry about it. And I really, truly don't worry about it. Which everybody looks at me and go, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. That's why I haven't written the book yet, you know?
Yeah, can you bottle that for me, please? Yeah.
But I think that this is not the final form.
Sure.
It can never be. It just can't. That's not how things work. But I think this is the launching pad that we needed to move forward. And this is not something that can be done online.
Right.
It's just different. It's
categorically
categorically different.
Feel, yeah.
You know, and it's like, even just this being here, I've seen people walk by and go, "This is cool." I'm like, this is what we do online. It looks pretty similar. You're just here for it.
Right.
And there's an energy about being here and being in the room when things are happening. And so I'm jazzed, man. Like, stoked out of my mind.
All right, I'm going to make you play a game before you go.
Well, I don't play games. I have experiences, so.
I'm going to make you have an experience.
Oh, okay, I can't wait.
Since you're jazzed out of your mind, I'll make you play the more exciting one. So this is called Rapid Fire.
Oh, great.
Your goal, I'm gonna ask you a question. It's a prompt of you're gonna need to list 3 things of a specific type.
Perfect.
Okay. You can skip once. You can't skip twice in a row. But it'll take some time off. Your goal is to get 7 sets. Okay.
I was just telling you how anxious I wasn't, and so you wanted to
make you.
insert an anxious moment. I got it.
You need to feel it. If nobody else can feel it, you got to feel it. All right. So, you ready?
No.
So, for instance, I'll say like name 3 words to start with B. So
B?
B.
That's not a real one though.
Right.
Okay.
So, that's the kind of thing we're going for. Here we go. Name 3 words to start with Y.
Why? Yolanda, Yak, and Yamaha.
Name 3 TV moms.
Oh no. Roseanne, Deborah, and Lois.
Name 3 places that start with T.
T? Tennessee, Texas, and Tasmania.
Name 3 vegetables that are not green.
Vegetables that aren't green.
Right.
Tomato's technically a fruit.
I'll give it to you, though.
Oh, tomato. There are more. Squash, and not green?
Yeah.
Carrots. Gosh, why was that so
Name
difficult?
3 types of hard liquor.
Hard liquor? Oh, man. Bourbon, whiskey, and sake. Those are all basically in the same family.
Name 3 sports you play with a racket.
A racket? Tennis?
Oh.
Table tennis.
And badminton.
Play that with a... Are there 3?
I give you that.
I was going to say pickleball. That's a flat...
Pickleball.
So badminton, tennis, and...
What's the one you do in the room, the, like, closed-off classroom?
It's racquetball.
Racquetball.
Racquetball. Because it's a racket.
Because it's a racket.
We're recording something right now. Yeah. Anytime anybody's sitting here, they're recording. Yeah. We're literally recording right now. Yeah. We're literally recording right now.
You got 5. You didn't make 7.
That's not good.
5.
Yeah, you asked for 7.
Mo has gotten up to 10 before, which was insane.
Was it accurate though?
Yeah, and real rapid.
Was it all library questions?
Library. No, it wasn't.
Name 10 books.
She did get hung up on that TV Moms one though. The last time we played as well.
Really?
She said the one from Home Improvement.
The one from
and I'm like,
Home Improvement.
You can't. No, that doesn't count.
I was trying real hard not to say that. I honestly, right in this moment, don't even know what I said to you.
You said Roseanne.
Oh, Roseanne.
Deborah, which I was assuming everybody loves Raymond. What was that last one?
Lois from Family Guy.
From Family Guy, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I was just going to say how my brain worked. I know you're trying to wrap up, but
Go ahead.
The way I forgot Deborah's name. Forgot it.
Okay.
But I heard Raymond say it in my mind. That's exactly right. Anyway, there you go.
The fun part about that game is that, especially with like the letters one, is your brain gets flooded either with nothing or with everything. So I know like 1,000 N-words. I'm only thinking of the bad one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not again.
Bubba, thank you so much for joining me. I think someone's giving birth.
That was Matt with his best Colossus impression, yeah.
And we're going to wrap up. Thanks, Bubba.
Hey, man, my pleasure.
Enjoy the con. I'm just going to start all over. I am here with Tieranie Albright, otherwise known as Silver or Silver Soul Streams. It's a tongue twister. Silver Soul Streams on Twitch. You are our digital presence lead.
Right.
As well as our community manager.
Yes.
You've been doing the community thing for
a couple years.
Now. How do you think that's been going?
Great. I mean, I've been a volunteer since day one, before LTN even had a name. as a moderator.
I keep forgetting that you've been around since before it really launched.
I've been around for a long time.
Yeah. And the Game Church days.
I was like, I'll be a moderator. Like, I've got a lot of experience in other groups and stuff. And then it's just kind of turned into, hey, you're really good at this. Like, I have a nerdy award front and center in my living room next to my Xbox, my PlayStation. And it says best mod ever, #legendary. And this was a couple years ago. This was from LTNcon 2020 online.
Like the first online one.
And that's my pride and joy because I was never like an athlete or anything. I was homeschooled like after like third grade, so I never won trophies or anything like that. And so it's like, that's the trophy I finally won, and it just means the world to me. And then Bubba turned around and was like, hey, why don't you be our community manager? And I was like, this trophy got me the coolest job on the planet. And it feels great, especially actually, I've been running the community for a couple years, but I've only met a couple people, like, outside of the internet.
Right. This is a big this convention is a big deal for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Who joined around 2020.
Yeah, or even before.
Yeah, or even before, and haven't been able to actually meet face to face.
Mm-hmm.
It was very awkward last night for a lot of us who only know voices, and we didn't have name tags last night for the fellowship night, and so. You're hearing voices, and some people recognize, you because you're on stream.
Yeah, I'm on.
Me on stream, but we don't know what you look like.
Yeah, I'm on LTN. I'm on my own channel. I share pictures. My profile picture on Discord is that I'm actually in it, so people recognize me easily. But there were some folks I was like, okay, I've never seen your face, but if I can get a username, I got you.
Username, yeah.
But today it's been really nice. Like, it's still weird. I felt like this at Gen Con. I went on mission with LTN in August to Gen Con in Indianapolis. It was the same there. Like, people would come up and recognize me, and like amazing people, like board game creators, and and I'm like, how do you know who I am? First of all, second of all, you're the cool person here, right? Like, I'm just running a Discord group.
Yeah, it's very awkward. There's a kind of weird pseudo-celebrity feeling.
Yeah.
For some people to us.
Yeah.
Like, I had someone come up, a couple guys come up to me earlier and say, are you Matt from 2 Words? We love the 2 Words podcast. I'm like, thank you. I'm glad someone's listening. It was so strange to just like see them almost, fan.
I've had people like come running up to me. Can I get a picture with you? Can I give you a hug? And I'm talking people like Andrew Lowen, who created Deliverance. I love that game, and I was so excited to meet him. He was more excited to meet me, and I was like, dude, you're the one that's like setting records for Christian gaming. It was kind of a surreal moment.
I think we all, like, especially a lot of the people in this room, a lot of the vendors, I think we all kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome going on.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing something really cool, but I don't think I deserve to be acknowledged for it.
And as a person that deals with a lot of anxiety, yes, I feel that a lot, because, and it's a weird kind of double-sided coin, because part of me, I'm like, wow, like, there's this amazing confirmation that I am doing a good job and I am making a difference in online gaming and both gaming and Christian communities and all that. I'm doing what LTN stands for, but then at the same time, it's like, well, I don't deserve this much recognition, guys. This is kind of what is going on.
So you've been a part of getting this whole con set up. You've been a part of the group. I've been in the group, but I've only really been a part of the meetings for the last couple months. How do you think the whole process went? Like, does it seem like everything went off without a hitch to you?
It actually does. Again, I'm kind of an anxious person. I was a little nervous. My job in helping set up was things like registration forms. So if you registered to attend, if you registered for an event, I did all that. Or if you needed help with something, I took care of that. So it's just really cool to see that, this stuff actually worked. And, it's been... I've seen all the work everybody else has done come together, and I'm like, man, this is really smooth. I'm more shocked with myself, but impressed with everybody else, because it seems to be really nice.
So far, so good. Last question here. What are you most looking forward to? this weekend?
So I mentioned I'm a huge Deliverance fan. And tonight, I pulled a couple of my best friends and my husband in to actually play the physical game with Andrew. And I'm super excited. And to play more D&D. I haven't played in-person D&D in 6 years because those friends moved away.
Yeah.
So we played some last night. I get to play more tomorrow, and that's my game.
That was really cool. Last night, y'all got to play like the finale game to an online game that's been going on for months. And it just so happened that y'all all happened to be here.
All 6 of us were coming.
For the final one here in person. I thought that was
Now, guess who
so
got
cool.
the killing blow on the bad guy?
Did you get the killing blow?
I got the killing blow on the bad guy. My character sucked like the whole campaign. And I was like, look, he was just saving it up for this one last shot. Like, he was going to be the hero after all. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, my wife played softball for a season when we did a church league. And she was terrible at it. But one game, we were losing, and she somehow hit a home run at the very end and got, like, not a grand slam, but got, like, 3 people on. And we won the game. And, like, somehow that was all day just because of that last hit. Is the winning hit, you get all the credit. Doesn't matter how much you suck.
Yeah, I stood up and started cheering. I was like, yeah, I did it. I got some looks, but I didn't care. I was proud.
All right, I'm gonna make you play a game real quick, and then I'll let you go.
All right.
We're gonna play rapid fire.
Okay.
And so this is where I give you a prompt like, give me 3 words to start with B. Your goal is to get 7 of these sets done. You are able to pass, but not twice in a row, and passing does cost you some time.
Kind of like the end of Family Feud.
Yes. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Name 3 nuts.
Peanut, hazelnut, macadamia.
Name 3 words that start with N.
N. Narnia, nerd, noodles.
Name 3 topics in most country songs.
Trucks, girls, and beer.
Name 3 words that start with B.
Bees, birds, and beer.
Name 3 country singers.
Luke Bryan, Hunter Hayes, Garth Brooks.
Name 3 brands of toothpaste.
Colgate, Crest, Act.
Yeah. Name 3 famous Americans. It's wide open.
Kim Kardashian, Donald Trump. No, Justin Bieber's not American. Luke Bryan.
Name 3 types of trees.
Trees?
Yeah.
Pine, cedar, oak.
Name 3 video games.
Skyrim, Fallout 4, Animal Crossing.
Quite. You got 8 points.
Woohoo!
You killed it. Didn't even have to skip once.
Heck yeah.
Great job. Silver, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
Enjoy the convention.
I will.
All right, I am here with Kate Kadowaki.
Hello.
I love your last name. It's so fun.
I'm so glad.
Of the Free Play podcast, also one of the initial 6 founders of Love Thy Nerd. Transplanting from Game Church many years ago.
Yes, many a year.
And Free Play was going on then too, wasn't it? Was it called something else?
It was called something else, and it was much more chaotic. So if you enjoy the Free Play podcast now and think it's chaotic, the other one was, I'll just say horrendous. But it was so much fun. It was the biggest time waster.
Which, that's also why they are only on, I think, episode 160, but a few weeks ago they had their 200th episode special. They were counting, counting all of them.
Matt counted. I trusted him. That teaches me a lesson
You shouldn't.
to never trust him, at least with numbers.
Because then I went back and found like 8 or 9
You did.
missing episodes. We found a
You
couple
did.
of them.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think some of them might be somewhere. I think Bubba is also involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any evidence or
Massive
proof, but it's just a gut feeling that I think he's involved
It's a massive
in
conspiracy to
the
make you
covering
look
up of the episodes.
So we are just starting. It's only been a couple hours since we officially opened the doors on day 1 here at LTNcon. How do you feel it's going so far? I mean, including last night, we had the fellowship night.
I feel it's going good. The terrifying moment that I had last night was me, Asia, and Aaron Wambier were trying to get the tacos here, and we, for the fellowship dinner. We had tacos, and we pulled up to the restaurant that we had ordered it from with a completely full trunk because we'd already been to Sam's Club.
And you
for
had
snacks.
a very small car.
Very small car, full trunk, and we thought, it can't be that much food. We should be able to fit it on our laps and on the floor. And all these guys started coming out with the food, and it didn't go very well. So now there's beef juice on the carpets of Matt's Camry.
Oh no!
The food got here though, so that's all that matters. And Matt can sort out the beef thing later.
And then we wound up having way too much of it.
Yes.
Like you could have gotten less than half.
They didn't have to bring out that third box and tell me to be careful with the sour cream. They kept saying that to me, careful with the sour cream. I'm like, what?
Okay, I'm aware. Is it
my heart rate was through the roof. So other than that, I mean, and in the end, that was okay. But other than that, I think that everything's...
Not your car. What do you
Yeah, it'll be fine. I don't have to worry about it. But I think everything's been going really well. I've been really pumped to be here. It's been really cool getting to see people's human faces that I don't recognize, and then look at their badge and be like, wait, I do know you. We've talked.
We really should have had these last night at the fellowship thing. It was very
awkward. I agree. And I did I feel dumb? Yes, I did. about the human face thing. So it's only happened a couple times so far today. I'm making great progress.
I feel like everybody's given an appropriate amount of grace for not knowing who people are.
Well, people know me because they see me on Twitch, and I don't know. So then I feel bad that I don't know their face. So there's this inner war every time. It repeats over and over. I think, oh no, have I met you before and I don't remember?
That's the worst. Yeah, that's the worst when you find out you have met them already, and you should know their face.
So it's
all right. So compare. Oops. Kicking my mic. Compare to me how you feel today going into this LTNcon with how you felt going into the very first one and the only other one that was in person in 2019. More nervous then or more nervous now?
Here's the inside scoop. I did not go to that LTNcon.
Oh, you didn't?
So I was not there at all. So this is my very first in-person LTNcon. Why wasn't I?
Yeah. Was it just travel or? I could have sworn you were there.
I think it's because I started my master's program, and it was finals week, and I couldn't handle the thought of trying to travel and study and do the finals during LTNcon.
Well, forget that question.
But no, that's the thing is maybe there's people who saw the first LTNcon happening and weren't there who are at this one too, just like me.
Right.
I don't know.
Wow. All right. Well, what are you most looking forward to then this weekend?
I am looking forward to the keynotes with Jacqueline. I bought a new notebook just for this.
Yeah.
It's a small travel notebook with dotted paper. I don't know if anyone needed to actually know that, but to me it was relevant.
What was the manufacturer? And what state are they in?
I actually don't know.
Is it a Walensky notebook? That's what I know.
No, it was a cheapo. Oh. It was a
so
cheapo.
You don't really care.
So I don't care about the brand.
Oh, I mean,
they didn't send it to me to plug. I paid for it with my own monies. But I'm looking forward to Jacqueline's talks because Jacqueline is super cool. She is very smart, and I'm really excited about that. I'm also excited about every single breakout here. I'm going to try to attend everything.
That's impossible. A lot of them are happening at the same time.
I know. So that put me in a conundrum last night when I realized that and really looked at the schedule.
Which ones are you going to? Or what name a couple you're going to?
I put the schedule as my background on my phone so that I don't have to mess around with it.
Brilliant.
Well, I included all the ones that are at the same time. Because I was too stressed to pick in that moment which one to go to. I know that's a very first world problem to be stressed about which breakout session you're going to go to. So it's Saturday that I'm concerned about with everything because I wanted to do the tabletop RPG panel, but at the same time is the LAN party breakout. And then there's the Andrew Lowen one about making great Christian games, which I was really intrigued by because he's like a Kickstarter wizard.
Yeah.
But then at the same time as that is Asia's one, and Asia's my friend. But
I'm going to Asia's, yeah.
Well, I haven't decided. There's still time. It's tomorrow. It's happening
How
tomorrow.
much of a friend is she?
I know. I'm in a conundrum. She's letting me stay at her house, so.
All right, Kate, I'm going to make you play a game before I let you go here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right?
I'm ready. Actually, I'm not ready. I'm nervous.
We're going to play Would You Rather. Okay. So what the goal of this is I'm going to give you a Would You Rather question. Your object is to pick the one that most people have chosen. Not necessarily what you would choose.
Okay.
What you think most people would choose.
Okay.
Bruh,
this is my interview, dog.
And we're gonna try and do 2 out of 3. So you need to get 2 out of 3 to win. All right.
Okay.
All right. So first one. Wow. Okay. Would you rather spend all day playing an internet game with huge lag, or spend all day listening to songs you hate?
Oh. I'm gonna go with lag.
Lag? Oh, just barely. 51% agree with you there.
Oh.
Wow, that's a real close call. All right, you got one. Would you rather know how you're gonna die, or know when you're gonna die?
That's so morbid. And the sad thing is I've thought about that as well. So I'm still undecided. Okay, I'm going to go with people.
Because knowing when you're going to die is terrifying because you're just waiting for that day to arrive.
I know, and the day arrives, you're like, what time is it going to happen?
But knowing how you're going to die is like, well, you're going to get hit by a bus. So like, I
Could
have to
happen
avoid
any day.
all traffic.
I think people would rather. I'm going to go with the time that they're. The time
So
that
when
they're-
you're going to die?
When you're going to die.
Also a close one, 52%.
Oh my
You
gosh.
got it. Yeah. All right, so you got 2 out of 3, but let's do the third one just for fun. Would you rather that everyone knows the details of your finances, or everyone knows the details of your relationship?
Finances.
Finances? No.
What?
52% would rather. What are you people buying?
Yeah, what are you buying?
Okay, thanks for sitting down with me.
Of course, thank you for.
Enjoy the convention. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I feel like I've said that 5 million times.
I think we all are.
It's yeah.
Thank you, Kate.
You are welcome.
It is LTNcon 2022. Woo! I am live here with Matt Wambier.
I made it.
Co-founder, co-host of the Free Play podcast.
Yep.
Oldest of the whole staff. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm so glad I've arrived. My knees are still here. My back still bends pretty well. I think that's the interview right there.
That's it.
All right. Good knowing y'all.
Just want to make sure you survived. No, this is you're my final interview for the whole weekend, and so you're kind of capping us all off here.
Oh gosh, so much pressure.
I know there's still a little bit of the con left, but for the most part, we've wrapped up almost everything. How do you think it's gone?
I think it's gone really well. I think Jacqueline killed it. Really just. She's speaking exactly what we want to do, with Love Thy Nerd. I think that the breakouts have been wonderful. I've seen a lot of kids get injured playing Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. So I guess, is that a win or is that... It was fun. It was definitely fun. So overall, I think it's going really well. I've loved it, and I'm already looking forward to next year's iteration, whatever that's going to be.
So compare how this has gone to the very first one that was live and in person.
Oh gosh, I feel like we, those of you who came to that first one, we all had fun. It was a good time. But I think LTN was so young then that we were still trying to figure out exactly what we were doing, how we were doing it. Like, we know what we wanted to do, but I think this one we've felt a little bit more confident in our abilities and our direction. So it just feels really good. And also, I've been a part of the planning, but I haven't had to be knee deep in everything. So that's been really good to be able to kind of hey, how's it going? I trust you. Have you thought about these? So being able to come here and just enjoy being here, and I know that others are running it, and I can actually do stuff like this and play past the pig for 45 minutes. And
it also must feel good knowing that Yeah, you did. You and Bubba kind of did delegate a lot of work to be done, and it all seemed to work out.
It happened. It happened. Minimal tears, no injuries, as far as I know. Like, I feel pretty good about that.
No ambulance calls, no nothing. Everything's gone off mostly without a hitch.
Yeah.
We've had a couple like internet glitches.
It happens sometimes.
All of them have been overcome one way or the other. So
many games were played. Right. Many games were bought by me and some others. But I think overall, like, it's been really good to be able to connect with people from the community. Just being able to meet face to face. It's one thing playing games online. That's wonderful, and chatting online. That's wonderful. But to be able to sit down and like have an interaction with whoever came, everyone who came, it's been really great.
By far, that has been the number one answer for what's been your favorite thing about the convention.
I'm not surprised.
Finally putting actual faces, real life, you can touch them faces. You're not allowed
well,
to
you
touch
probably,
them,
you really don't want to touch them.
You
could ask permission. Ask permission first.
As opposed to being stuck behind a screen for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's true.
Which, the online cons were amazing. Especially compared to other online versions.
I will say for the online ones, I had more naps. And those were good. I'm like, I got a little bit of time here. You want to play that game on the internet? And I'm going to just be over here, like, just resting my weary bones for a few.
You only had to have a couple people on screen at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Be on all
exactly.
What, besides meeting new people, what's been your favorite part of the convention this year?
Oh, gosh. I think playing games. I go to a lot of conventions throughout the year, and honestly, like, I play about 0 games per convention. Like, it just works out where we just talk a lot, and every now and then I'll sit down and play a game. But I made it a goal to sit down with people and invite them in and teach them games that I actually wanted to play, and I hope that they wanted to play as well. So that's been really good to actually like be able to enjoy playing games. If that it kind of sounds weird, like
sure,
it's kind of what I do. Like, I play games, but like I just never have time to do it when I go to conventions.
It's usually work.
So right, and so being able to have others, like, we've delegated some tasks to, and being able to like just sit down and enjoy the company and the games and just be. So yeah, it's been really good. And if you can make it in the years to come, like, I'd love for you to be here. I want to play a game with you. So let's do it.
All right, I appreciate you sitting down, but before I let you go, I'm going to make you play a game.
I don't want to play a game this year.
No, wait, next time. So I'm going to make you play a game called Rapid Fire. This is a game that we play on the morning show.
Okay.
In this, I'm going to give you a prompt similar to, like, name 3 things to start with B.
Oh,
and it's all sets of 3s.
Is this editable?
Okay. No. Your goal is to get 7 completed sets. Okay, seven correct.
Okay.
But if you get more than 5, you've beaten Bubba. So that could be your personal goal.
And what's my time frame here?
I don't know, and it doesn't tell me. There's a timer. It doesn't tell me how long it is.
Okay.
You are able to pass, but not twice in a row.
Okay.
If you pass, it does take a couple seconds off.
Okay.
I know that much.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I think so.
Here we go. Name 3 numbers divisible by 4.
12, 8, and 16.
Name 3 colors of the flag of the USA.
Red, white, and blue.
Name 3 gas stations.
Shell, Marathon, and Sunoco.
Name 3 reality TV stars.
Oh, my. Snooki, that tan guy from Jersey Shores, and David Hasselhoff. He's in that one.
I'll give them to you. Name 3 Charlie Brown characters.
Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and Linus.
Name 3 baseball pitches.
Pitches, knuckleball, curveball, fastball.
Name 3 types of pickup trucks.
F-150, Bronco, sort of, and 350, F-350.
Name 3 things you can carry in a purse.
Lipstick, a wallet, and magnifying glass.
Name 3 summer activities.
Swimming, canoeing, and snorkeling.
Name 3 Google products.
Google Home, Google Glasses, and Google Mini.
Name 3 non-primary colors.
Oh, gosh. Orange. Shoot.
Oh.
How'd I do?
Matt, not only did you beat Bubba, not only did you get 7.
I feel pretty good.
You have got the most anybody has gotten that's played this game.
Really?
The entire weekend. You got 10 completed things. 9 was the record before.
Oh my word!
What
you
a
see
way
that?
to end on.
I feel great, and I have a very random brain, so I feel like that's the game for me right
you
there.
did really good. Yeah, you were cranking those out, and there were some in there that I would.
I feel like I maybe I said Bronco, and that's a borderline truck. So I like.
You also did say.
The tan guy from
Jersey Shore, but everyone knows who you were be talking about. So,
and I also said David Hasselhoff. I don't know. I'm just gonna.
He's 100%.
Yes, I'm in.
100%.
That's the hardest one for me. Any other ones, no problem. Right. Primary colors have been rough too. Okay, anyway.
Matt, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Enjoy the rest of the convention. Thank you for letting me be a part of it as well.
Hey, thanks for being here. This
has been the coolest thing.
It's been really great.
I'm so glad I got to be here.
Sweet.
Let's have some fun.
Sweet.
See you, brother.